What kind of things do you do that people might not expect somebody in a band to do?
I like chick flicks. I like I'm a major fan of dramas. My favorite movie is Braveheart. It's got to be a little bit of love, then a little bit of war. Like, you kill my wife, I'll kill your country. I like that concept. It's a very in-depth concept. So, but then there's, The Notebook's one of my favorites. I like that. That I'm sure my wife and I are going to go see that Time Traveler's Wife that just came out. But then I'm going to see District 9 as well. So, I like the action flicks, but they got to have a little bit. It's got to be drama, And then chick flicks. I'm down with that.
Is there new music? Is there anything special that you guys are up to?
Yeah. That's a good one. Yes, we're going to Europe. We're going to Europe in September with a band called Earth Crisis and Sworn Enemy. The two secular bands that I grew up listening to. We actually just got off tour yesterday with a 10 for 10 tour, 10 bands for $10. A band called Poison the Well and Madball and Bane and Terror. We were the only Christian band on that tour. And it was awesome. We played in front of a lot of kids every night. It was a lot of fun.
Now, do you enjoy performing with more secular groups?
Honestly, whoever wants to go out, that's just to be honest. People are like, oh, well, cool that you're going out with secular bands all the time. We mostly tour with secular bands, but there's been times where we do, Christian tours, and it's we're God uses, lead the way, man. We'll do whatever with whoever. It's we are lights in a dark place, and that's what we want to be. It's what we've always been. When we go to home shows at home, we don't just play in churches. We play in the clubs, and we have been doing this so long and been involved, and I've worked with child delinquent kids most of my life. It's that's where I'm at. That's where, whether they're Christian or whether they're not doesn't make a difference to me, because God can use me with either kids or our band with Christians or non-Christians. So as far as importance, I believe there's strong importance for both. And a lot of Christians get upset with us because we do tour with secular bands. A lot of them are proud of us because we do. A lot of secular bands and not really secular bands, but more secular kids don't like us because we tour with Christian bands. We're either too Christian for the secular kids or not Christian enough for the Christian kids. But that's fine. And we met a lot of cool people on this past tour. A lot of high industry people that work with the biggest of the big secular bands, like Britney Spears and whatever else. Live Nation is one that works with the Jonas Brothers. We met a lot of key industry people, and the one thing that most of them all said is you guys are just great dudes. We could easily be yeah, because Jesus is here, and Jesus, and they're, but we're here. They can see that. We don't have to tell them. They know we're the only Christian band on the tour. They know who we are. They can see the light in us. So it doesn't matter. We just actually did an interview thing for MTV. And that was playing, and we got kids screaming these lyrics, and I'm I just wish sometimes, do you know the lyrics that you're screaming right now? It's about the awesome power of my Creator. That's what you're screaming. All consuming fire burn. They have no idea what they're screaming, but it's a prayer. And so I think that's cooler than anything, really. But this is no offense to CCM. That's awesome.
Right.
Do your
Everybody
thing,
has their place.
Yeah,
it's
you have
the body
your place.
Thing.
We're all exactly. And we're in the trenches every single day. Every night is a battle. Every night I have to sit there and go, okay, don't fail, Leroy. Don't fail. All my guys, don't fail. Tonight, oh man, it's a rough one tonight. A lot of girls here, or a lot of non-Christians, a lot of drugs going on here. We saw some crazy stuff last time we were in Europe. On our bus, right in front of us, cocaine being snorted right off the seats or the tables and stuff, and we're in the thick of it. We're right there, and it's man, what do you do? Well, you stay strong. You hold each other. You keep that fire burning, and they realize towards the end of that tour, can't do that in front of them. We like those dudes. We have to respect those dudes, and that's what we want. That's it. We didn't have to ask for it, demand it. It was there. So I think it's why certain bands are a little more vocal and other bands aren't. And I believe that's because we are in the thick of it every day. Whereas a CCM band they're Christian. Everybody knows that. When they play the churches, people know that. It's already evident. We kind of have to. It's more about action. Not that a CCM band doesn't have the action or doesn't need the action either. But I think that it becomes hard. And not to mention, when you are a CCM band, you struggle with a lot of things because it's like, okay, you're using the Christian industry, to make money. Well, where's the line drawn with that? Whereas us, I'm like, we're in this to make money. We're not using God's name for anything except for being lights in a dark place. I'm like, but naturally, we're in this I'm going to buy a house. I want to buy a house for my wife. I want to use the talents that God has given us to glorify Him, And at the same time, I want to get paid, son, But I think it's a struggle sometimes with Christian bands where it's like, do I put God on a T-shirt and sell it to kids because I know it'll sell? Or am I putting it on a T-shirt because I want to share Christ with people? So it's like, where do you draw that line? Where would God come here right now and flip my table? What do you do that? And I think in a lot of areas, I see a lot of sometimes I get a little discouraged, and maybe like the old jaded guy in me. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they wrote that on a T-shirt. They know it's gonna sell, but they think they feel better about tithing 10% to God. If Jesus were here right now, he'd be flipping that table. And I'm just like, Leroy, we work through our own salvation through fear and trembling. Our own salvation through fear and trembling, and so it's hard. It's an ongoing struggle that every single band I think can share and be like, this isn't easy. So I think we have it harder in some areas, but easier in others. And call it what it is. That's what we're here to be and do, is to call it what it is. So.
Well, Leroy, thank you so much for the interview. That's great.
No problem.
Got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.